years linger. Hmm. Plus, the NBA is investigating Raptors Jontay Porter for betting irregularities.
Uh-oh.
Another one.
Another one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We'll have all that and more coming up in about 30 minutes, but let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
So what's next if the KC Royals and the Chiefs Stadium tax passes, or if it fails? Of course, the election day is happening Tuesday, April 2nd, and the fate of the Royals and the Chiefs Stadium's tax in the balance. People want to know what will happen if the vote passes. The Royals said they want to have the East Crossroads Ballpark ready for opening day in 2028. If the vote fails, both teams have said they will look at all of the options. Yeah. It's been a hot take in the city.
Super hot take, scorching take.
Right. Q, your thoughts on this one?
From the top, I'm voting no. If both of these teams have, I think it was 6 or 7 years left on their contracts at their current locations. If you're a $1 billion organization, you should know exactly what the steps are moving forward. Maybe not all the steps, but you should have some certain steps moving forward. The CBA that they released a week or two ago was poppycock, if I can come up with a silly word, because it's a way that owners have, and especially team owners in professional sports, have utilized to take money out of communities and put into their own pockets. There should be a more equitable plan for the city to not lose the amount of tax dollars that they're losing on this vote. So, hey, you all should come back in about 2 or 3 years and ask for this vote, so then we can pass it and it could be more equitable for the community and for different citizens that work in the area. And the Chiefs and Royals really just don't have that plan to make it work for the city. And there's too many studies out that say stadiums don't benefit cities financially. So why would we have a failing Power and Light? I think Power and Light filed for bankruptcy a couple of years ago, or they were just completely in the red. So then we would add another behemoth of an entertainment structure just blocks away from it to extract more money. And 40 years for the plans that both teams put out that's nothing that's bright and shiny to me. And maybe that's because I'm not a fan of the local teams. So that could be it. But
I think from Q's perspective, I think that's what it is. Like, not being a fan of it. Because here's the thing. It like I don't have a dog in a fight because I don't live in Jackson County. But if I did, I would vote yes. And here's why. You look at teams just around the league, and you look at, just say, I'm gonna throw the Chiefs out there, taking the Royals out of the equation, and the Chiefs as a team. So the Chiefs don't own Arrowhead Stadium; it's owned by the city, taxpayers, Jackson County. The Chiefs just rent it or lease it. Same with Kaufman. But the Chiefs as a team and organization, they've, over the past, I would say, 5 to 7 years, let's just throw in there Andy Reid's era, past 10, 12 years. They've made a lot of money for this city. If you just look at, last year, 2024 season, they made a lot of money for this season. I mean, for the city. And then you look at the reason that throwing the Royals back in there, and you look at the reason that fans or voters say that they don't want the new stadium is because of the 3/8 cents sales tax, which people will be paying that, taxpayers will be paying that for the next few years,
40
anyway. No matter if the new stadium comes, or the new stadium does not come. A lot of people are like, oh, well, we don't want a new 3/8 cent sales tax. Well, you already paying it. And it's not new. It's just, and this is what uh um former Mayor Sly James was saying, is that it's already a 3/8 cent sales tax, so there's no change to it. It's basically an extension on what you're already paying. And then you look at just having a new stadium. Fans are like, oh, well, we don't want Crossroads um, to be torn down. We don't want our businesses to be, done with. And the Royals come in, they're like, all right, well, if that's your argument, we won't tear out Oak Street. We hear what you're saying. Anything beyond Oak Street, we're not going to tear out. We're going to reconstruct our stadium build, so that way those businesses on the other side of Oak Street, they're going to stay. So that was that argument. But people want to, we said all the time, move the goalpost of like, all right, well, now you're getting your businesses. They're going to build parking garages. They're going to build additional parking lots for this stadium. Parking was a huge thing.
That's what they said, but that's not the.
Well, that's in the agreement. It's in it. They came out with a new agreement on Wednesday that said these are the things that they're outlining, and the city and the mayor agreed. And so also some of the businesses that are arguing this are businesses that are failing. Like the Royals are going to pay you 20 times over what your business is already valued at. That was in the agreement on Wednesday as well. They're going to pay you 20 times over what your business is already valued at. So not only are you going to basically come up on a failing business that you have, because there's a coffee shop that I've gone to a few times, and every time I've been in there, it's been empty. So why is that owner arguing that? So I think some people are just arguing just for the sake of argument. Now, if you have the Resurrection Church that is over in that Crossroads area, that was going to be displaced after spending upwards of $2 million in the last couple of years, I get that argument, like, wholeheartedly. I understand, like, hey, we just spent this money. We have our current building, then we moved basically a few steps over and built a whole new building. So I get that. That's why the Royals took into account. It's like, all right, we're not going to displace anybody that's on the other side of Oak Street. Oak Street is going to stay. And if there is a street that we want to basically block off or build on, we have to ask the city, and that has to go into a vote. So I mean, I'm for it. I think that would bring. You look at these downtown stadiums. I know I'm on my soapbox right now, but you look at these downtown stadiums in other cities. They're dope. Like, I get it. And then we've already had a vote where we could have had a Super Bowl right now. Them moving. Let's just say the vote doesn't pass, and
Hopefully,
and the Royals say, all right, we're going to move to Nashville, which that's on the table.
it's not.
We're going to move to Nashville. What does that do for a vacant Royal Stadium? Would we looking at, then the Chiefs are like, all right, how about if the Chiefs move to Wyandotte County, because Wyandotte County really wants either the Chiefs or the Royals or both. They have a lot of land in Bonner Springs area. What is that, west of the Legends? They have a lot of land over there. So it's like, all right, if we want to go ahead and do that, then Jackson County ends up with nothing, and it starts looking like Oakland. Because Oakland lost their football team, and it's just the most recent city. And now when we talk about them later, but they've lost their baseball team, or they're losing their baseball team. And what does that do for a city? You talk about not getting money in. Now what do you got this brand new airport that you still got to pay for. What else is bringing people to and from, throughout the year?
So why not dump that money into the current area that they have right now?
I feel like if the Royals move, let's say they move downtown, the Chiefs now have control of all that land out there.
Right.
And a new stadium makes the infrastructure around it, it no more blighted anything. The hotels over there, you have what is that hotel over there across the street?
Yeah,
what is that? The old
Yeah, I forget what it's
Marriott.
called.
It used to be the Marriott a long time ago. Then it was
Adams Mark.
Adams
It was
Mark.
Adams
Yeah.
Mark for a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, if the Chiefs are able to do that, I feel like they'll tear down Kauffman and build a brand new stadium.
They won't. And that's the tough thing. Like if the owner is already getting the F from his players and the facilities, they aren't gonna do more. And that's the issue. I think the largest issue is the agreements that they keep putting out is that they aren't legally binding agreements. So they can change this literally anytime they want and not meet the agreements. And that's what I hate about the politics of stadiums in every city. And I talked about this with Oakland losing their stadium. I talked about this with St. Louis losing their team. I've talked about it with a lot of different cities that it's happened to, and there's no upside for the city. The upside is all for the team owners, and that's what I hate about this deal. Because if you are $1 billion teams that are coming up with sham CBA agreements for a full city, that shows how much you lack respect for the city. And the Chiefs and the Chiefs more recently have put out a product that yes wins Super Bowls, that brings the draft in. But then what about the Royals? The Royals aren't doing much for this city as far as the product they're putting out. And now they're asking for this new big shiny toy that we could utilize to bring in all this money and then extract the tax money from the city and the schools that are surrounding the stadium. And on top of that, they have a second location that they could move to that doesn't remove taxes from the city in the East Village. And they don't want it's assumed that they don't want that location because it's not as close to Power and Light. And they want to utilize Power and Light as like the entertainment district that's close to it and revive that. But the Royals they can't even revive their own entertainment at this moment.
And I think the reason that is because them moving to East Village, they were going to be far away from Power and Light, or not far, but I mean
it's not walking distance.
Right. And so that they were going to build that entertainment district, and they were going to build the hotels and things like that. Well, the city and Cordish had stepped in and said, hey, and this wasn't put out there, but they said, hey, we don't want to, because the city, you talked about them going bankrupt. I don't know if it was quite bankrupt, but the city
I don't think it was quite bankrupt.
The
I think
city
it was close
feeds
to it.
a lot of money to Power and Light every year because they are in the red. Well, why would the city and Cordish want the Royals to build this huge entertainment, new shiny thing when they got Power and Light right there and the city's just forking money over every year?
And I think
that's why the city wanted them to move over to that area.
And that's fine if you want that type of convenience, but we also can improve on the public transportation. We can improve on a lot of different things where people only have to go. It's like 6 or 7 blocks. It's not a long like commute. And that's what I hate about these sports leagues, because it becomes so copycat that they want stadiums like Staples Center or whatever it's called, Crypto Now or whatever it's called, and they want it inside of Power and Light type of district. And you aren't going to have that in every city. Kansas City is not an entertainment capital like that to support the Royals, Power and Light, T-Mobile Center, and everything that's in that area, when you could really just move the Royals over. Like, who's going to after parties after Royals games?
A lot of people do. Like
in Power and Light.
I don't even think I make it through the last couple innings, let alone the after party.
A lot of people do. Like in Saturday, like a Saturday game or Friday night game. A lot of people go out to different bars, and it'd be more convenient if there were bars. But since you got to drive, I mean, fewer. But
okay, drive.
Drive. It's different. It's a lot different. It's a lot different because you got Kauffman Stadium way out where it is, and
10 minutes from downtown.
But what about 2 minutes from downtown? That's a big difference. That's a big difference in driving while you've been, having fun.
And those people can take public transportation. So all of those tourists can
Not
dump
from
money
Kaufman.
into our public transportation to
Hey.
take them downtown. And that's what I don't understand. Like we're creating convenience for people that don't even use it. Like power and light is hardly ever used.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't understand. Like why in this city would we continue? And another thing about Cordish, like Cordish has been sued nationwide more than once for racial discrimination. So we're gonna pitch them another bone? Like, come on, that sounds crazy. And to not have a legally binding agreement, like I would be for the yes vote if they remove the tax abatement and there were certain taxes that went towards Kansas City Public School District that also didn't force gentrification in the area of Kansas City Public School District. So it removes the already like oppressed communities that are in that district. And it doesn't make sense.
But we don't even care about Kansas City Public. Like most of our people don't care about, other than Lincoln and Paseo. Most of our people don't care about.
It's a Northlander talking.
No. I'm speaking for, and this was a thing on Facebook where when they were talking about a lot of the Kansas City public school where they lost accreditation. They were talking about closing a lot of the Kansas City public schools, and they were going to close Central. Central was one of those. Let me just say, back in the late 90s, was this big new shiny school, magnet school that was supposed to be, one of the top schools in the country. Well, a lot of people went there, and then they left as they grew, went to college, got older. They started moving to Raytown and Lee Summit and Northland and everywhere else.
And you know why that happened?
And hold up. And once they, the years went by, no one cared about it until they were like, oh, we're going to close this school. Well, why don't you have your kids go there? Why? Because, they want to move out to Raytown, or they want to move to Lee Summit. They didn't care about it until they were talking about closing it. And now all of a sudden, we care about, and I'm just speaking of Central because that's one of the ones that's, more relevant. But other than that, other than Lincoln and Paseo, what are these other schools? I mean, what do they have going on?
And also, you're forgetting to include the surplus of dollars that the state and the governor are withholding from public school districts like the KC School District that has funds that have been reallocated elsewhere. Probably not as blatant as Brett Favre, but they've been taking money. So yes, when you say the citizens don't care about it, yes, because the state doesn't allocate any viable resources to these school districts because of the people that look like us that go to these that go to these schools. Like you don't see the Park Hill suffering. You don't see you don't see any of the charter schools suffering. You don't see any other private schools suffering.
Most parents pull their kids out and put them in the KIPS and the Kaufman and the other schools,
because the state allocates the funds and the resources to those schools, and they misdirected from KC. So yes, people would not care about something that's not receiving resources and go to the neighborhoods that do have those resources.
I'm still for the stadium. I think it brings.
I think it's a lot of your fandom.
The city. No, and it's not. It has nothing to do with fandom. I'm talking
Jazz. It's
what it does.
To do.
No, because and it has nothing to do with, because I'm not a huge fan of the Royals. Like, I'm a fan
of the Chiefs.
But the Chiefs, and this has nothing to do with the Chiefs. This has everything to do with the Royals. They're the ones that are moving, not the Chiefs. The Chiefs are gonna. I don't feel like Clark Hunt will, because of his dad's legacy and because everything that is brought to that area and what it means to his family, I don't feel like they would move. Like, that's just not something that is in the foreseeable future for them. However, the Royals, I don't put anything past John Sherman. Like, I feel like he'll move that team to Nashville. And
that's the scare tactic.
And then, it is a huge one, because you don't know.
And that should, for the local fan base, for me, I would lose respect for a professional team owner if you're trying to use scare tactics and threaten me with moving and doing all of this, versus like they've spent I think the number was like they've spent $3 million in advertising, in political advertising.
Yeah,
at
that's not
that
that much. It was a lot.
they spent that to ask you to vote yes. Instead of reallocating that $3 million to come up with a better plan in 7 years. And again, I would close the window to 2 to 3 years. I give you 2 to 3 years, use that $3 million and another portion of the billions that both of these teams are making, and come up with a better plan that's equitable for the city, for the citizens that are pumping this money into your pockets and giving you a free ride. Like, and then also like take care of the schools and the children in our schools. Like, the Chiefs already have their hand in one of their employees smashing their car into a little girl, almost killing her, ravaging her for life. And now you asking the city to pay for a stadium after you put money into keeping that former employee free. Like, those
Not
are
the Chiefs, the Royals. It had nothing to do with the Chiefs. The Royals are the ones
Chiefs
that
are
moving.
part of this plan. The Chiefs are part of pay. The Chiefs paid 1.5. The Royals paid 1.5. So that's what I'm saying.
They've also offered $300 million to the reallocation and the.
So they should just double that, and then the city can take care of their overages, and that would be fine. And then they could also pay taxes on those properties that go towards Kansas City, Missouri School District.
I'm telling you,
that have these buildings that are old and falling apart. And then also in Midtown, you have a lot of toxic waste that comes from like old gas stations and old oil refineries and things that are causing cancer in these different neighborhoods within Kansas City. Like, if you want a spot here, hey, help us clean these things up. Help us take care of this community. And that's never part of the conversation. And I'm pretty consistent on that. Like, with every city that wants to build a stadium, like, take care of your community, not just the people that are living in the Overland Parks, that are in the suites.
Hey, hold up. You talk about the areas around. There's a lot of still blighted buildings in that area. Like the Star building has been sitting there for 10 years. Unused.
10?
Yeah,
I just had a relative that worked there 4 years ago. It hasn't.
10 years. It'll be 10 years.
No, it
and
hasn't.
nobody will have done anything with it.
The Star,
right now, it's just
the
sitting
Star
there.
moved out in 2019.
It's just sitting. No.
So-
It was before that.
No, it's 2019.
Was it 2019?
I have relatives that
either
work
way,
there. Yes,
it's been going on 4 to 5 years now, where there is nothing happening in that area. Nothing. And the Star's been just sitting there. So you got all these blighted buildings down there that nothing, and nobody said anything up until the Royals. Oh, they want to move into this area. Now we've got a problem with it.
Clearly you haven't.
There's an empty building that's sitting right across the street that's for lease, that's been sitting there for 3 to 4 years, maybe longer than that. You got another building on the backside of the Star that has no windows in it that's been sitting there. Nobody wants to say anything until now it's the Royals that want to move. It's this billionaire that wants to bring this new stadium down there. I'm sorry, I like new things. I like the new and the shiny. I'm sorry, I want to go to a new stadium in my lifetime. Hey, I do.
You like for other citizens to, and that's another thing too. Okay, if people in the Northland and people in Jackson, in Johnson County and Wyandotte County want these stadiums so bad, like, there should be some kind of like bi-state, by county. I don't know how it goes with the counties, but there should be some kind of bi-state tax or something that everybody pitches into these stadiums.
I agree with that. I wouldn't have a problem with it either. I'd still vote yes.
And then some of that money still goes to KC schools. Like, it goes to the kids, because I don't want it to become a domino effect where the Royals now have an Urban Youth Academy in 18th and Vine, and then just 5 blocks away they have a stadium, and then they just start buying up the whole area. And now in 10 years, you want to talk about scare tactics? In 5 to 10 years, 18th and Vine is going to be run by the Royals' white-owned organization. And then in 20 or 30 more years. Now you got all of these jazz players, and it's probably no more Negro League Baseball Museum. It's
that won't happen because the city owns 18th and Vine.
okay.
All but about 4 to 5 buildings there, the city owns.
The city wasn't even prepared for this vote. Like the city had to go find.
We talking about 18th and Vine, though. The city owns 18th.
The city had to go find $2 million to vote to put this vote on for the Royals and the Chiefs. And where does that money doesn't come out of thin air? Like, but the Royals and the Chiefs pull out $3 million to advertise for this.
For it. Do what y'all do.
So they should have put the $2 million up for the vote.
I've been to Oakland since the football team has left.
But Oakland has nothing to do with Kansas City because Oakland
it's still a team, a professional team leaving a city and leaving. What's happening in St. Louis since the Rams left? Nobody wants to go to St. Louis.
I don't go often.
Yeah, exactly.
People
but
they go for baseball.
Yeah,
they still go for baseball.
Yeah, but it ain't the same. Football drives most of the revenue in a city.
It ain't gonna be the same when they start taking this mony out the city and putting it in that downtown stadium.
And if they got a new stadium anyway. So this same topic came about 2 different times when the vote was to put a rolling roof that would go in between Kaufman and Arrowhead and go between the two, which would have allowed the Chiefs to have had maybe 1 or 2 Super Bowls so far.
But actually, Clark Hunt said that the players don't want a roof; they prefer to play in freezing temperatures. So,
yeah, I mean, and that's cool, but I'm not saying
so. That's a mute point.
And I'm gonna ask when I get to talk to the players again, I'm gonna ask them how many of them actually
none of them, because I'm sure they would like a controlled temperature setting versus what we had against Miami for the playoffs.
So that was the first thing, and then when the casinos came, or one casino, that was.
And how have those casinos fared?
I mean, one Bally is brand. They redid that one.
They had to redo it because
the other stadium. They could do KC Current Stadium. You see, and that's another thing. You see what happens to a failing casino when a new stadium comes right across the street. A failing business, it jumpstarts it. You see,
is that what it did? Yeah. How much did it jumpstart?
It's too early to tell.
Oh,
the sample size is too small. You can't. But the look of it has totally changed. The look of that area has totally changed since the KC Current Stadium.
Steve, you just take a little shiny thing and dangle it in front of them.
Yeah, you got to, man. I want a new stadium. I'm sorry.
I know you
go
do.
Vote yes.
He's biting every time. Every time. But speaking of Clark Hunt, Chiefs owner Clark Hunt responds to F- grade points to facility investment.
Trash.
Q again. Your thoughts on this one?
No, let's start with Steve.
Okay.
We could definitely start with Steve because this is his favorite team.
I always take, when I talk sports, I always just so people know, I take my fandom out of it completely.
You don't.
I do. But here's the thing about it. Even speaking with Clark Hunt, I wish I would have got the chance to ask him, about the grade. But friend of the show, Nate Taylor, did. At the owners' meetings in Orlando, and he talked about just the fact that he never said that they were supposed to have a new locker room or new facility upgrades, but they did do a facility upgrade inside of Arrowhead, which dope locker room. Like, players get the little things that the players want, places for their jewelry to lock their jewelry up and things like that. Stuff that 24 and 25-year-olds think about, right? Yeah. So,
and that the public may not see as a big deal.
And then the public may not see it, yeah. And so they did do where the Chiefs walk out. They have the new bar area over there for the fans, and just a bunch of different upgrades for just the team as in general on game day. The practice facility had a renovation a little over 10 years ago, which is basically same parking lot as the stadium. However, inside of the practice facility where the team is every day other than game day, that needs some upgrades. Like, no question about it. It's older. However, Clark never said that he was redoing that. Now, the practice facility where the team actually practices, where the field and everything is, they have, started the upgrade process on that. I'm not sure how long it actually takes, but they have started that process. And a lot of that came from Patrick Mahomes voicing his opinion to ownership and president. I guess we can call him friend of the show now because we had him on during Super Bowl, Mark Donovan, of just the upgrades and things like that. So I feel like once you start winning, the microscope and the magnifying glass is more put on. It's like, all right, where can we get them at? Oh, they need new facility upgrades.
Yeah.
Oh, let's magnify that. Oh, well, Clark Hunt, you just won a Super Bowl. Your team just got brand new 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. Let's magnify the facilities are trash.
They're always gonna pick you apart.
Yeah, they're gonna nitpick at different little things. But how much does that equate to a guy actually getting paid and a guy actually winning what he wants to, what he set out to win? I don't think it really equates that much.
Like, you don't think?
Like, you're only in the facility. I mean, you're in there 5 days, 6 days a week.
You're down. I think you're downplaying the time frame because if you think of like an average day of the players, even you, like being there that early in the morning, they eat lunch there, they eat breakfast there.
I'm talking just in the locker room.
Okay.
Just in the locker room. That needs the majority of the upgrade. I'm talking just being in the locker room. Other spaces in the facility have had that upgrade already.
Gotcha.
I mean, he should build new facilities. Like, these players have won Super Bowls for him. Like, you should build these facilities. You should make sure that the players are happy. You should also be part of the arms race, just like in college, of creating these facilities that are going to recruit these players to want to stay here.
Yeah, Q, you missing it. Winning recruits players to stay here. We've seen a lot of players that want to come here because they win.
Have we?
Yes, we have. We talk about it every week. Players that generally wouldn't want to come here come because of the winning culture, because of Andy.
And they
Reid.
come here in 1 year and leave. Like,
that's because they come here and win, and then they're able to go get a bag somewhere else. We've seen it happen.
They come here, they get that one win, and they leave. And they aren't doing anything for the community. And
exactly. That's what as a player, that's what you want to do. Like Hollywood Brown. Hollywood's coming in. He's coming in on a one, and I'm throwing him out there just because he's the most recent. He's coming in. He's got his deal. He had his rookie deal from Baltimore. Went on, played with Arizona. Now he's coming in 1 year. What is it? 1 year, $14 million deal, or $11 million. I could be wrong, but he has incentive based. He's planning on coming here, showing what he can do with a great quarterback, possibly a team that can get back to the Super Bowl, going for a 3-peat. And then he's going to parlay that into a new deal, whether it's with Kansas City or whether it's with someone else. We've seen New England do it. We've seen, most recently, the best team that has done it is New England. We've seen them guys come in there, get these 1 year deals, go on and win, and then they out of there because they can go get it back from somewhere else. Because I always say this, there's 3 things that you want to do as a professional athlete. You want to get paid, you want to stay healthy, and you want to win a championship. Once you do all that, your boxes are crossed off. You don't need anything else.
And you also don't want to sit on a 40-year-old toilet every day at work.
Hey, honestly, I don't really think them dudes care about that.
They do.
Honestly, I think you more care about getting the bag and winning.
They do. That's why he got graded an F, and that's why it's a topic. Like, they do care about these things. They do care about, like, feeling at home when they're a part of an organization. They do. A lot of players don't like moving across the country every 6 to 8 months. Like, again, it's the comfort of your players. And
these is rich people problems, by the way. Why we talk, these rich people problems. Like,
I mean, they are. But the Chiefs should definitely build their own facilities, from the stadium to the practice facilities and all that. And for whatever reason, they want us to foot the money
on the facility, on the Chiefs facility. We ain't got to fit the money build on that.
I mean, if they get their new stadium wishes, and
I'm talking about just the upgrades. We ain't got to fit the bill.
They need to do all the upgrades, and they need to build a stadium. Like, I've stood firm on that. That's not changing. My fandom doesn't blind me from this. Like, Steve, take off those Chiefs color
I've
glasses.
been in the Eagles facility and it ain't great. It's not.
They should update their facility if needed.
It's not great.
Is the owner and the facility graded an F on PFF?
Oh no, I ain't even looked at theirs.
We should look that up
because they stuff ain't great.
I have to agree, though. I think it is important, even though you're winning, yes, but you wouldn't win without these players. So why not cater to them like they cater to you? I think it shouldn't be downplayed just because you're winning, I guess.
And the crazy thing is the Chiefs are going to end up an organization just like Pittsburgh ended up about 3 or 4 years ago, putting all this stock into how they put everything into Ben Roethlisberger, and then everybody else was just here. So as long as he's happy, it's fine. And they're doing the same thing with Patrick. If he's happy, everything is fine. And
I think Patrick sees a bigger picture because they're not we talked about it. Every year he changes his money up so that other people can get paid. That's different than Ben. Ben didn't do that. Ben was like, gimme. And then when it ain't no more left, you got Le'Veon Bell sitting out. You got Antonio Brown leaving. Pat ain't like that. Pat ain't about all the gimme because he's understood. He watched what Tom Brady did. Tom Brady took less in order to keep people around him. And the organization, I think they're taking a page, like I said, out of the Patriots book and saying, all right, this is what we need to do for longevity. Now, when Tom got old, how long was Tom in the league? 20-something years?
Something like that.
Yeah, that's a long time. The Patriots was just Bill Belichick set in their ways and didn't want to fill that funnel. Whereas the Chiefs, they're young enough to be able to fill that funnel.
And your point switched from how the player felt to how the organization feels about the player. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like, the organization is doing the bending and everything that they can. Not allowing him to have these sponsorships, but these different sponsorships that are around him, creating that money around him. So yes, now we can pay him less on this end to take care of the team. But again, I think it's the team doing the bending and the stretching and everything to keep this player happy, to keep him here, because that's their golden goose. You're supposed to. You are supposed to, but then also,
player, you got to.
But also,
that's across the board.
But also, your star player, your arguably the best player in the NFL, is sitting in a 40 to 50-year-old facility, and you aren't doing anything for that.
Well, let the Royals move, and they'll build a new facility. How about vote yes?
Come up with a better plan.
How about vote yes?
Here we go.
Listen, how about vote yes and your quarterback doesn't have to sit in a 40-year-old facility? Boom, boom, mic drop.
That wasn't a mic drop.
It all comes back around full circle.
Mic drop.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Keep it locked in. This is W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
We're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Back in on the W show. We had a lot of hot topics, a lot of rants, a lot of fire going on in the studio today. The NFL owners have approved a major kickoff rule change as head injury fears linger. Obviously, we've seen where you're lining up directly across from them. We've got if you're watching us live, we've got the grid up on the screen. Steve, your thoughts on this one?
It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. They're talking about keeping players safe. My thing is like how many, and I like to see the numbers. How many concussions come from kickoff return?
Right.
Like, because it doesn't seem like many. You rarely see, because now teams have started just kicking the ball out of the end zone. They have kickers that are, just that good. And of course, the ball now is placed on the 30-yard line. So, man, it's crazy. I don't know. They're just trying to figure something out. I'm wondering how the players feel about this. I guess they feel okay because the NFLPA agreed to this. But yeah, and I want to hear from people that are watching this live. Like, what do y'all feel about it? Because I don't like it.
Q.
I think it's just an insignificant part of the game. I don't see kickoffs as being like that entertaining. What was it, like 70 or 80% end up in touchbacks?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this probably adds some excitement to kickoff. Like, yeah. I don't know what difference it makes that players are running 40 yards versus 10 before they crash into each other. Like, that doesn't, like, I'm not turning on an NFL game to see kickoffs.
Right.
And here's the thing about it. So if you guys are watching us on Facebook Live, Twitter, or YouTube Live, you're able to see the NFL hybrid kickoff setup zone and the start line. So there's also a landing zone. So the ball has to land in that landing zone. It can't land before, or you can kick. Of course, you can have a touchback, and that moves to the 20. But if it doesn't land in a landing zone, it's just like as if a player or a kicker kicks the ball out of bounds. It goes to the 40-yard line. So that brings some excitement. And then you can only, if let's just say the team puts it in the spot and land, because some teams are going to figure this out. Put it in the spot on that landing zone where it's going to make the kick returner run. And it's gonna be a little interesting,
just like they do with directional punts.
It's gonna be a little interesting. Yeah,
this adds some kind of like interest to it. Like I don't think there's a big difference in players running 40, 50 yards and then crashing into each other. I don't think that changes the game at all. Yeah, I think you're going to get a lot more exciting plays and a competitive advantage for teams, special teams coaches that figure out the strategy behind this.
And Darius said, I can see Tyreek and other premier returners going off with these new kickoff rules. Jazz, your mom says she loves it.
But for them to write it off as the concussion statement, I'm not understanding what it does differently.
Yeah, I don't think it does much.
But I guess we'll see. And we'll see some more fun plays, action. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss Caitlin Clark and Hate It or Love It. Keep it locked in this W show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors. Classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Obviously, we had House Divided today, so holler at us. Tell us what you think. We want to hear it.
It's time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Now, NBA is investigating Raptors Jontay Porter for betting irregularities. Hate it or love it?
Man, I love it because these guys are getting. And the thing about this is, you don't know if he's really betting on, but it looks like he does. If it looks like there's smoke, there's fire normally. But I just, Jontay, you got to be smarter, my man. You got to be smarter because I'm sure he knew this was coming down the pipeline. And to me, even his brother, Mike, this is Michael Porter Jr.'s younger brother. You got to be smarter.
Do you think that his actions were sponsored by ESPN Bet?
Should be because he only made $400,000 last year. So he looking for the bag.
Caitlin Clark reportedly offered $5 million from Ice Cube to join Big 3 Professional Basketball League. Hate it or love it?
Take it.
Yeah.
Run with it. I think run with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Ice Cube. The funny thing is the quote that came out from Ice Cube where he said, we intended this offer to remain private while Caitlin plays for the championship. But I won't deny that's how what we now already put out there. It's an historic offer for Caitlin Clark. Why wouldn't we?
She's got other things to concentrate on.
She can make more there than she making WNBA. That's crazy.
True. Or just stay where you're at. She's not making money. 43-year-old's bar for women's sports brought in $1 million in 8 months. This is one sentence from her business plan. Made it happen. Hate it or love it?
Love that.
I love that.
Yeah. I like that. I like the idea of only playing women's sports. I think that's super nice. We need one of those near the current stadium.
Yeah, we do.
The Miami Marlins now offering fans all-you-can-eat game seats on select nights. Hate it or love it?
I love it. You know me, I'm all about it. I'm all about give me the all-you-can-eat.
So some of the options, we got hot dogs, chili dogs, nachos with cheese, chili nachos, popcorn, peanuts. What are you getting the most of?
Steve's getting glizzy wasted. You already know.
Everything.
He's going to be a glizz monster.
I told Q this during the meeting. He's like, how you going to eat all that food? I'm like, I'm going once an inning. I'm getting something different. I'm going to get the hot dog first inning, chili dog next inning, going with the nachos, chili nachos. I'm going off the list.
And then you got to walk 15 miles to your car.
Yeah.
I mean, you can walk it all off, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
every inning is crazy.
I'm out there.
You're taking a run with it if you want, I guess.
Wash it down with the nice beverage.
What you drinking?
Water.
Beer at the
Fiji.
old ball game.
Fiji.
Not positivity water. You're tripping.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, that too.
Okay, fair enough.
But you can't get it out into the stadium. If I'm going as a fan, you got to be able to figure out how to get the water in.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Oakland A's fans protest Las Vegas move with opening day tailgate party outside the stadium. Let's see what happened first.
Yeah, that gives you a great example of how fans would go crazy if this Royals team moves. That just
Move to Johnson County, please.
Nah, we talking about moving to a whole different state.
That's not happening.
All right, okay, okay. If another city comes in and says, "Hey, we'll build you that," and that's exactly what happened to there's more Las Vegas is out there. Las Vegas came and said, "Hey, we will build you, give you all the money to build you a new stadium." And that ownership group said, "All right,
hey, you see,
cool."
You see how the argument is built on more scare tactics than benefits.
It's not a scare tactic. It just is what it is. This is a what if. It ain't a scare tactic. If this team decides to move,
what if
it's gonna be pandemonium.
What if they decided to allocate resources to the community? That's a better if.
They can do that too.
They ain't.
Okay.
They ain't did it yet.
Okay.
2024 Naismith Women's Players of the Year finalists have been announced.
Love it.
Can you say who you're gonna pick?
I got JuJu.
Cameron Brink.
Yeah, it should be
Paige
JuJu.
Buchers, JuJu, or Caitlin.
I think it was Paige before she got injured. It would have been clearly Paige. Paige was Caitlin Clark before she got the injuries.
Fair enough.
Remember, she was going off.
Right.
Like that's where Kobe's daughter wanted to go and be like Paige. Like she used to go off. Then she got injured and she's making her way back. But now it's I think it's still gonna go to Caitlin Clark this year. But even though as much as I want it to be JuJu, JuJu has 3 more years.
Right.
Yeah, because it should be JuJu just off the fact of getting a scoring title at the same school that Cheryl Swoops went.
Right. JuJu. All hail JuJu.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't forget about our sneakers of the week. Starting off, we have the Adidas AE1 McDonald's All-Americans.
I love these. I love these.
Not a fan.
Fire.
No.
What? No. No.
I love these.
The two different colors.
You hooping in these? They go with the jersey. They
No.
with the unis.
No.
The red, white, and blue McDonald American uni.
No, I'm good.
What?
No.
Y'all crazy.
You can keep
This
them.
looks like a Brett Favre shoe. Like you stealing money from the state of Mississippi in these.
Nah, these y'all got to see them on the feet in the uniform. Like these are fire with the translucent bottom.
Pass.
Yeah.
Pass.
Nike Air Max 186 Air Max Days.
Mad, I missed these. I gotta grab them. Somebody send me a link because I need these.
It's kind of
Air Max Days.
elementary. The colorway isn't giving what it's supposed to give.
The other Air Max are better.
Fire.
The Air Max on the bottom. Nike Air Max 1 Easters.
These are dope. I like these too.
Yeah, those are all right.
Those would be a good Chiefs shoe for game days. I like them. I dig them. My favorites this week, the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG Crafts.
Fire.
Those are definitely my favorites.
These your favorite?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got any high top shoes?
I don't right now. I'm actually not a high top girly, but I like that colorway. That's what the colorway is really sealing the deal for me. The other ones just are kind of giving elementary, not really giving what they're supposed to give. NCAA seeking nationwide ban on college prop bets that threaten the integrity of competition. Hate it or love it.
I hate this. It's like, man, and I get it though. Like you got a lot of these bettors that do outrageous stuff when they lose. Like they'll send multiple DMs. They'll at the player on social media. It's like all you had to do. You had one job because I'm guilty of it, but I'll never like at a player. But I'm always like, you got one job, just make the whatever. But yeah, I get it because these guys are still young. But some of them, you got one job.
Yeah, they trying to avoid a Jontay Porter situation.
Facts.
That's true. But now I think it's a little different because these guys are all getting paid these NIL deals. And they don't want to jeopardize that. Like you making
The integrity
millions
of
off that.
competition.
It's crazy. But it is what it is. What you guys got going on for the rest of the day?
Gigging.
Head over to the KC Current game.
Heck yeah. That's you got the Current. A lot of sports happening today. You got the Current, got the Royals, got the Prodigy Monarchs, Peyton's baseball team got their scrimmage today. Can't wait for
Okay.
that.
It's a good weather.
Peyton out here.
Yeah.
It's a good day too. The weather's gonna be good for sports. I'm excited.
It is. We appreciate everyone, as always, for joining on today's show. Thanks for watching us on Twitter, watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube. Remember to interact with our show, use hashtag talk about it, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Catch a rewind of our show on Mondays, 100.1 FM. Until next week, we are out of here.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.